Oh, hi, I'm Richie from the Fairfax County Wastewater Management, and today we're going to learn about the water cycle, woohoo! And what we can do to protect it so that we can all enjoy a nice, refreshing glass of H2O. Oh, what's that? Oh, why do I call my water H2O? Well, I'm so glad you asked. You see, water is a combination of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom coming together to form a chemical bond. So that's 2 H's and 1 O, or H2O. And H2O can come in different forms. It can be a liquid, like water, a gas, like this steam, or a solid, like this ice cube. Pretty cool, huh? And did you also know that almost 70% of the Earth's surface is covered in water? However, most of that water is locked up as salt water or frozen in glaciers or icebergs, or stored deep within the Earth and not immediately available. So that only leaves a tiny percentage of fresh water from lakes, rivers, and other sources that we can actually use. And here's another fun fact. The water that you use today is the same water that was on the Earth 4 billion years ago. In other words, we're drinking the same water that the dinosaurs drank. H2, OMG, am I right? Am I right? I'm right, right? Yeah? Oh, how can it be that we're drinking the same water that the dinosaurs drank? Another great question. You see, that's because the same water on Earth is constantly being reused over and over again. And it's called the water cycle. It describes the movement of water in, on, and above the Earth. Here's how it works. Cue the sun! When the sun heats up the water on the Earth, it turns it to a vapor. And this is called evaporation. And when these droplets evaporate into the sky, the water is purified by leaving the pollution behind. And when the vapor cools in the atmosphere, it condenses into tiny little drops of water, forming clouds. And we call this condensation. And when enough water collects in the clouds and the water gets heavy enough, well, it falls back down to Earth in many different forms, such as rain, ice, or snow. In this process we call precipitation. But we're not done. That's just part of the water cycle. Have you ever wondered where we get our drinking water from when we turn on the faucet? Most of the water comes from rivers, lakes, or streams, and it gets sent through a bunch of pipes to a drinking water treatment plant, where it'll go through a cleaning process to remove dirt, sticks, rocks, or dinosaurs. And then once it's clean, we can use it again for bathing or cooking or drinking. But what happens to the water after we use it? Well, when the water we use gets dirty, we have to clean it. The water that we flush and the water from our bathtubs, sinks, and washing machines is called wastewater. It goes down the drain through a lot of pipes and then ends up in a big wastewater treatment plant where all that dirty water gets cleaned again. And then the water goes out into our waterways with all the pollutants removed. And you can do your part by not putting wipes, trash, medicines, grease, or even small toys down the drain. However, there is some water that doesn't get cleaned. And that's the water that falls from the sky when it rains. Now, during a rainstorm, water that doesn't soak into the ground becomes runoff, and it flows into the surface waterways, or it's channeled into storm drains, or it collects in the watershed. A watershed is an area where surface water and the materials it carries flows to a single collection place. Most of Virginia's local watersheds eventually lead to the Chesapeake Bay. And since this water doesn't get cleaned, if there are harmful things in it, the fish and other living animals can get sick or die. So that's why things like soda bottles, pet waste, or even a small gum wrapper should not go down a storm drain. While water is a renewable resource, we all have to do our part to help keep it clean so that it's available to everyone for the next 4 billion years. Rawr! To find out more about Fairfax County's wastewater management program, go to fairfaxcounty.gov. Oh man, this is some really good H2O.